Hi, boys and girls. Today I'm going to help you better understand lesson 12.6, improper fractions and mixed numbers. So the first thing that I want to go over is I want to go over vocabulary because it's going to be very important. You need to understand what a mixed number is and what an improper fraction is. So the first thing is the mixed number. This is an example of a mixed number. Why? Because it's mixed. It has a whole number, 3, and a fraction together. And you would read that 3 and 1/4. So that's what a mixed number is. It simply means that it's mixed. It has a whole number and a fraction. Improper fraction means that an improper fraction is when the numerator is larger than the denominator. It's improper. It shouldn't be that way. It should never be that way. You should never have, these are the parts, so you shouldn't have, the numerator should not be larger than the total equal parts. So that's why we say this is an improper fraction. The numerator is larger than the denominator, okay? Now, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how this looks in a drawing, okay? So if I was to take 3 and 1/4 and draw that out for you, this is what it would look like. First of all, I'm going to do it with circles. Now, the bottom number here tells me how many equal parts, the total equal parts, that my circle is going to be divided into. So it's 4. So I have to do that. I have to divide that into 4 equal parts. So let's just split these into 4. Okay. Now it's telling me, right here, this mixed number is telling me I have to shade in 3 holes. In other words, hole is the entire thing. If I shade the entire thing, that entire circle in, I just shaded the whole circle in. So let's shade in 3 of them. Ready? I'm going to shade in this one. 1. I'm going to try to shade it in lightly. 2, 3. Because I wanted you to see it's still broken into that force. Okay? But I just shaded in 3 holes. 3 whole circles. Now I have to do my fraction part. I have 1/4. I have to shade in 1 out of the 4. So I'm just going to shade in 1 part out of the 4. And that's how you would draw this out visually. Now, how is that as an improper fraction? Okay, well, let's take a look. With an improper fraction, these two are actually equal, okay, and I'm going to show you. Now I'm going to count my parts. How many parts do I have? That's this number right here. So let's count them. I have 1, 2, I can even number them maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this was 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 9, 10, 11, 12, and this one here is 13. I shaded in 13. Okay, 13 of them is shaded in, and my equal parts stays the same. It's 4. So this is how you would show this mixed number and this improper fraction in a visual to draw it out. Okay, that's what that looks like. So 3 and 1/4 is equal to 13/4. Okay, I just have one as a mixed number and one as an improper fraction. Now, let me erase this. I'm going to show you something else. On your quick check today, actually, before we even do that, you know what? I'm going to show you another one. I'm going to do one more for you, boys and girls, as an example. Just one more to make sure you understand it. We're going to do 2 and 3/4, okay? And I'm going to leave this blank, and we're going to figure that out, okay? So now, how would I draw this? If I had to draw a picture of this, how would I do that? Well, I have to have my two whole circles. I know that, I see that. And then I need one more for this one here, this fraction, okay? My bottom number, again, tells me how many parts my circle is divided into, how many equal parts. How many is that? 4, right. So I'm going to split this into 4 equal parts, okay? Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to shade it in. How many circles am I going to shade in? Well, this tells me how many circles I have to shade in. 2. I have to shade in 2 whole complete circles. Okay? Okay. Now, here, this fraction, how many am I going to shade in here in this circle? Well, I'm going to shade 3 out of the 4, right? So I have to shade in 1, 2, 3. So I just shaded in 3 out of the 4. So I just drew you a picture here of what 2 3/4 looks like. Now, what is it as an improper fraction? Okay, well, let's count how many parts we have. Okay, 1, 2, how many parts that we shaded? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11, that becomes all the shaded parts that we have becomes your numerator. And my denominator, well, I always stay in fourths. That's how many total equal parts there were that this circle was divided into. So that would be my improper fraction, 11/4. Okay? As I shaded in 11, and it was broken into, each circle was broken into 4 equal parts. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit, I'm going to show you what the quick check, what the kind of problems they're going to have on the quick check for you. Okay? They're not, what's going to happen, boys and girls, that a visual is a great way to help you understand mixed numbers and improper fractions. The thing is, there's also a mathematical way to figure out these problems. And that's what you're going to have to learn, and that's what you're going to have to know. Because as your numbers get larger, and they will, your whole numbers and your fractions are going to get larger, it would be way too much work to draw pictures out for all of them. So you're going to have to learn the mathematical way, because that's going to be much faster and quicker. Okay, so that's what I'm going to teach you. Okay, didn't teach you that in the video that you saw, but I'm going to teach it to you now so that you know how to do this. And you're going to use this technique from now until your senior year in high school. Okay, whenever you're dealing with mixed numbers and improper fractions, you're going to use this mathematical technique. Okay, so here we go. The first thing I want to show you is they're going to ask you a problem on the quick check. And the problem on the quick check is going to be, they're going to say something like, show an improper fraction as a mixed number. Okay, that's what they're going to say to you. So they're going to give you an improper fraction. Okay, and they're going to say, okay, change that into a mixed number. Well, how are you going to do that? Here's the mathematical way. You actually have to divide, okay? And this is what I want you to do. I don't even want you to erase that or touch that. Just leave it the way it is and use it for your problem. You're going to make you're going to make your division bracket like this. You're going to take that 10 and you're going to move that 10 down here, okay? Now you can get rid of this or erase it. Just cross it off, okay? It's gone. And you're going to say, remember how you do this now, boys and girls. 2 numbers, so you're going to have two squares, right? 2 boxes up here. Now, can a 3 fit inside a 1? No, so nothing's going to go in here, right? But now we're looking at the 10. And you're going to say to yourself, what number times 3 gets me close to 10 without going over? Well, you have to think of your 3 times tables. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. Well, it has to be 9 because I'm only 1 away from 10. Because remember, you want to get as close as you can without going over. And then remember our steps. Now you have to multiply. 3 times 3 is 9. You write it here. You subtract. 10, this is 10, minus 9 equals 1. Okay. Now 1 is my remainder. I filled in all my squares up here. 1 is my remainder. Okay. This is what you're going to do now. This 1, boys and girls, becomes your numerator. This 3 over here becomes your denominator. Your mixed number, this is your mixed number. Your answer is 3 1/3. So 10/3 is equal to 3 1/3. And I can prove that to you. I can prove that, well, yeah, I can prove that to you in a, well, it's going to be kind of hard to prove to you in a picture. Well, yes, I can prove it to you in a picture. Watch. So I'm going to have watch, I'll show you, boys and girls. Okay, I have to divide this into 3. This circle has to be divided into 3 equal parts, right? So I'm going to go now, it says I had to shade in 3 holes, right? So let's shade in 3 holes. And I have to shade in this one here, this circle here has to be, I have to shade in 1 out of the 3. Okay, now let's count how many we shaded in. Ready? It should be 10, because it was 10/3 was our improper fraction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, and it's broken into 3. Each circle is broken into 3 equal parts. So as this improper fraction is 10/3, they're equal. 3 1/3 is equal to 10/3. Okay? But I showed you the mathematical way to do it, and that's how you're going to have to do it from here on out. Okay? Now I'm going to show you something else that they're going to ask for you to do this on the quick check. They're going to say, show a mixed number as an improper fraction. All right, and you're going to have to take a mixed number and change that into an improper fraction. Well, there's a mathematical way to do that too, and I'm going to teach that to you. Okay, here's my mixed number. It's a mixed number, remember, because I have a whole number and a fraction. So my mixed number here is 5 1/4. Well, here's how I'm going to change that into an improper fraction. You always start at the bottom here at the denominator, okay? And you go around, you go clockwise, okay? So I'm going to take 4 times 5. Well, what does 4 times 5 equal? That equals, well, 5, 10, 15, 20. That equals 20. Okay, right? Then you're going to add 1 to it. So what's 20 plus 1? Well, 20 plus 1 is 21. And your denominator here, 4, always stays the same. It never, ever changes. So you put a 4 here. So that's it right there, boys and girls. I just changed 5 1/4 into an improper fraction, 21/4. And that's how you're going to do that. Okay? I'm also going to give you, and I could prove that for you too. Ready, if you want to. Here, I can draw that out for you. So we have we're going to have actually 6 circles, so I'm going to have to make them smaller. They're broken into fourths, right? Fourths, okay. Now I have to shade in 5 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then here I have to do 1 out of the 4, so I'm going to shade in, oops, I'll shade in this little corner down here, 1 out of the 4. Actually, that's kind of, doesn't look good. Let me maybe do it again, circle better for you. I'm going to shade in 1 out of the 4, 1 out of the 4 for that one. Now, I should have, when I count all these shaded parts, I should have 21. Let's count. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and this one here is 21. Yep, it checks out. Okay, but I just taught you the mathematical way. So let's just do 2 more. We'll do 2 more. We'll do one changing a mixed number to an improper fraction, and then changing an improper fraction to a mixed number. Now, sometimes you're going to get an, I'm going to give you this improper fraction. Ready? Why is that an improper fraction? Right, it's an improper fraction because the numerator is larger than the denominator. Okay, so that tells me it's an improper fraction. Now, to change this to a mixed number, you have to divide. So all I'm going to do, I'm not going to rewrite it. I'm just going to make my division bracket right here. I'm going to move that 60 down here. And then I'm going to just kind of cross him off. Okay? Now, I'm going to say, well, I know, you put your 2 little boxes here because that helps a lot of you. Can 10 fit inside a 6? No. Just going to not even going to, we're going to put an X right there. So now we're looking at 60. And you're going to say to yourself, what number times 10 is going to get me close to 60? Well, start counting by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. That was 6. 6 times 10 equals 60. So you multiply. 6 times 10 equals 60. You subtract, and you get 0. Sometimes when you do this, when you have an improper fraction and you have to change it to a mixed number, you're really not going to have a mixed number. Here, I don't have a mixed number, do I? I have what? I have a whole number. I have just plain old 6. I had no remainder there. So it's just 6. My answer here is just 6. It would be just this right here. Okay? All right. So that was one example. I'm going to give you another example of changing an improper fraction to a mixed number. Let's do this one. Oh, let me see. Okay. 11/4. That's an improper fraction because my numerator is greater than my denominator. Now, to change it to a mixed number, I'm going to divide. I'm going to make my division bracket. I'm going to move that 11 down here, cross him off. I'm going to put my 2 boxes. Can 4 fit inside a 1? No. This is only going to be a 1-digit answer. And I'm going to say, what number times 4 is going to get me close to 11? Well, 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. That's too big. I can't go over. So it has to be 2. Then I multiply. 2 times 4 is 8. I subtract. This is 11. 11 minus 8 is 3. I have a remainder here. So now this remainder, remember, it becomes my numerator. I put it right up here. I draw my line, and it always stays in fourths. So 4 has to be my denominator. So my answer here is 2 3/4. I changed it 11/4 to 2 3/4. They're equal. Okay, but this one's an improper fraction, this one's a mixed number. Okay, now I'm going to show you another example. I'm going to give you another example now of going from a mixed number to an improper fraction. Okay, so one more example. Now remember, you always start at the bottom, start with your denominator, and you work around like a clock. The hands on a clock go like this, spin like this. Okay? So I'm going to say to myself, and let me even just, let me rewrite that a little bit better so it looks a little better. The whole number's always bigger than the fraction, like that, okay? All right. Now, I start at the denominator, so I'm going to say 6. Remember what you do, you times this. 6 times 3 is what? What does that equal? That equals 18. Okay? Then I'm going to add the 2. So what's 18 plus 2? 18, you have 19, 20. 20. And then I stay in 6. My denominator stays the same. It doesn't change. So I just changed, and I'll erase this now so you can see it. Okay, 3 2/6 is equal to 26th. Okay, and that's how you're going to do your quick check. And this is how you are going to change mixed numbers to improper fractions and improper fractions to mixed numbers. So I hope this helps you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. All right? Thanks. Bye.